Unexpected visitors. The vast expanse of space had always been a source of wonder and curiosity for humanity. For centuries, scientists, philosophers, and dreamers alike had pondered the question, are we alone in the universe? Little did they know, on a quiet Tuesday morning in the year 2045, that question would be answered definitively. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, lead astronomer at the Global Space Observation Center, GSOC, stifled a yawn as she peered at the endless stream of data flowing across her holographic display. It had been a long night, but something in her gut told her to stay just a little longer. As she reached for her third cup of coffee, a shrill alarm pierced the silence of the control room. "What the hell?" Elena muttered, her fatigue instantly forgotten. Her fingers flew across the holographic interface, bringing up real-time footage from GSOC's network of orbital telescopes. What she saw made her coffee cup slip from her fingers, shattering on the floor. There, just beyond the orbit of Mars, was an object. An object that was most definitely not natural and most certainly not of human origin. Its sleek, silvery surface reflected the distant sunlight, and its size dwarfed anything humanity had ever sent into space. "Oh my God," Elena whispered. She took a deep breath, steeling herself for what came next. With trembling fingers, she initiated the first contact protocol, a series of procedures that had been established decades ago but never used. Until now. Within minutes, the GSOC facility was buzzing with activity. Scientists, military personnel, and government officials poured in, all struggling to comprehend the magnitude of what was happening. Among them was General Marcus Chen, head of Earth's United Defense Force. Dr. Rodriguez. Chen's voice was calm, but Elena could see the tension in his eyes. "What are we dealing with here?" Elena gestured to the main display, where the alien ship now dominated the view. "It's approximately 3 kilometers in length, General. No visible weapons that we can detect, but its technology is, well, it's beyond anything we've ever seen. It's currently holding position just outside Mars orbit." Chen nodded, his mind already racing through potential scenarios. "Have they made any attempts at communication?" As if in answer to his question, every screen in the control room suddenly went blank. A moment later, a symbol appeared, a spiraling glyph that pulsed with an otherworldly light. A soft, melodic sound filled the air, rising and falling in complex patterns. "I believe they just did, sir," Elena said, her voice barely above a whisper. The next few hours were a blur of activity. Linguists were called in to decipher the alien message, while military forces around the world were put on high alert. Social media exploded with speculation and panic, forcing governments to address their citizens and call for calm. As the sun began to set, Elena found herself in a secure briefing room with General Chen, the president of the United Earth Alliance, and a handful of other top officials. The weight of the situation hung heavy in the air. "Ladies and gentlemen," the president began, her voice steady despite the circumstances. "We stand at a crossroads in human history. Our actions in the coming days will determine the future of our species. What do we know?" Dr. Yuki Tanaka, head of the hastily assembled Sinolinguistics team, cleared her throat. "Madam President, we've made some progress in deciphering their initial message. It appears to be an invitation for dialogue. They're requesting permission to send a small delegation to Earth for face-to-face talks." A murmur ran through the room. General Chen leaned forward, his brow furrowed. "And if we refuse?" Dr. Tanaka shook her head. Their message didn't indicate any alternative. It seemed presumptuous, almost, as if they expected us to agree without question. The president's eyes narrowed. "Presumptuous indeed. General Chen, what's our military readiness?" Chen's response was immediate. "We've mobilized our space-based assets, Madam President. The orbital defense network is fully operational, and we've begun powering up the mass driver on the moon. But," he hesitated, "against technology like theirs, I can't guarantee it would be enough." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity, for all its progress, might be woefully outmatched. Dr. Rodriguez, the president turned to Elena. You've been studying them since they arrived. What's your assessment? Elena took a deep breath. Madam President, the fact that they've chosen to communicate rather than simply take what they want suggests they're not inherently hostile. However, their technology is so advanced that they might not view us as equals. We need to be careful not to appear weak, but also not to provoke them unnecessarily. The president nodded, her face grim. A delicate balance indeed. Very well. We'll agree to their meeting, but on our terms. General Chen, I want our best troops ready for any contingency. Dr. Tanaka, work with Dr. Rodriguez to prepare a response. We'll host this delegation at our lunar base. Neutral ground, so to speak. As the meeting adjourned, Elena felt a mix of excitement and terror. Humanity was about to take its first steps onto the galactic stage, and she was going to be right in the middle of it. The next day, as the alien delegation's shuttle descended towards the lunar surface, Elena stood in the observation dome of Lunar Base Alpha, her heart pounding. Beside her, General Chen watched the approaching craft with a mixture of awe and suspicion. "Ready for this, Doctor?" he asked, his voice low. Elena managed a weak smile. "As ready as I'll ever be, General. One small step for an alien, one giant leap for interspecies relations." The shuttle, a sleek vessel that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, touched down with impossible grace. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a soft hiss, a door materialized in its smooth surface. 3 figures emerged, each over 7 feet tall, with slender, iridescent bodies that seemed to shimmer as they moved. Their heads were elongated, with large, multifaceted eyes that took in everything at once. As the alien delegation approached the airlock, Elena took a deep breath. This was it. The moment everything changed. For better or worse, humanity was no longer alone in the universe. The leader of the alien delegation stepped forward, its mouthparts moving in complex patterns. A moment later, a melodious voice filled the room, courtesy of the advanced translation software Dr. Tanaka's team had developed. "Greetings, beings of Earth. We are the Zarkov, and we have traveled far to meet you. We come seeking knowledge, trade, and alliance." Elena stepped forward, her voice surprisingly steady. "Welcome to Luma, representatives of the Zarkov. I am Dr. Elena Rodriguez, and on behalf of humanity, I return your greetings. We are honored by your presence and eager to learn from you." As the formal introductions continued, Elena couldn't help but notice the way the alien's eyes darted around, taking in every detail of the base. There was something in their gaze, a hint of surprise, perhaps even respect, that she couldn't quite place. Little did Elena know, this was just the beginning. The Zarkov's arrival would set in motion a chain of events that would test humanity's resolve, ingenuity, and courage in ways they could never have imagined. The galaxy was watching, and humanity's trial by fire was about to begin. The misunderstanding. Tensions rise. The initial meeting with the Zarkov delegation had gone smoothly, or so it seemed. As the days passed, a tenuous rapport began to form between the alien visitors and the human diplomatic team. Dr. Elena Rodriguez found herself spending long hours with the Zarkov, exchanging information about their respective cultures and technologies. One evening, as Elena was reviewing her notes in her quarters on Lunar Base Alpha, she received an urgent message from Dr. Yuki Tanaka. "Elena, I need you to come to the linguistics lab immediately. There's something you need to see." Intrigued and slightly concerned, Elena made her way through the base's winding corridors. When she arrived, she found Yuki hunched over a complex array of holographic displays, her face pale. "What's wrong, Yuki?" Elena asked, peering at the streams of alien text scrolling across the screens. Yuki looked up, her eyes wide. "I've been running some deeper analysis on the Zarkov language patterns. Elena, I think we've made a terrible mistake in our translations." Elena felt a chill run down her spine. What kind of mistake? The Zarkov language is incredibly nuanced. What we thought were friendly overtures, they might actually be veiled threats or demands. As Yuki explained her findings, Alina's heart sank. The aliens' request for knowledge, trade, and alliance could just as easily be interpreted as a demand for Earth's submission. Their compliments on human technology might actually be expressions of contempt. "We need to tell General Chen and the President immediately," Alina said, her mind racing. Before they could act, alarms blared throughout the base. Alina's comm unit crackled to life with General Chen's voice. "Dr. Rodriguez, report to the command center now. We have a situation." When Alina arrived, she found the command center in chaos. On the main view screen, she saw a frightening sight. The massive Zarkov mothership was moving, descending rapidly towards Earth. "What's happening?" Alina demanded. General Chen's face was grim. The Zarkov delegation just left abruptly, citing a misunderstanding in our talks. Now their ship is making a move, and they're not responding to our hails. Alina quickly filled Chen in on Yuki's discovery about the translation errors. The general's expression darkened further. "This is exactly what we were afraid of," he muttered. "We've been too trusting, too eager to believe in their good intentions." As they watched, the Zarkov ship took up a position in low Earth orbit. Smaller craft began to deploy from its hull, descending towards major cities around the globe. "Are they attacking?" Alina asked, her voice barely a whisper. Chen shook his head. "Not yet, but they're making a show of force. I've already advised the President to activate our defense protocols." Over the next few hours, tension gripped the planet. The Zarkov ships hovered over cities, their presence a silent threat. Social media exploded with panic and wild speculation. Governments struggled to maintain order as people fled urban centers. In a desperate attempt to reopen communications, Alina and Yuki worked tirelessly to refine their translation algorithms. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, they'd managed to establish a link with the Zarkov mothership. The alien commander's image appeared on the view screen, its multifaceted eyes gleaming with an emotion Alina couldn't quite identify. "Humans," the translation software rendered its words, "your deception has been noted. You claim to seek peaceful exchange, yet you harbor weapons of great destruction. Explain yourselves, or face the consequences." Alina's mind reeled. Weapons of great destruction. What were they talking about? General Chen stepped forward, his voice steady. "We have made no attempt to deceive you. Our weapons are purely defensive. If you've seen something that concerns you, let us explain." The Zarkov commander's head tilted in what might have been skepticism. "Our scans have detected a massive energy source beneath your lunar surface, a weapon unlike anything we've encountered. You dare to point such a thing at us while speaking of peace." Realization dawned on Alina. The mass driver, the colossal electromagnetic launcher built into the moon, designed to launch supplies to the outer colonies. To the Zarkov, it must look like a weapon of unimaginable power. "There's been a misunderstanding," Alina interjected, stepping into view. "The device you've detected is not a weapon. It's a transportation system, designed to launch cargo, not attacks. Please, let us show you." The alien commander was silent for a long moment. "Very well. You have one planetary rotation to prove your claims. If you fail to convince us, we will have no choice but to neutralize the threat you pose." As the communication ended, Alina turned to General Chen. "We need to get a team to the mass driver facility immediately. If we can demonstrate its true purpose, we might be able to defuse this situation." Chen nodded grimly. "I'll assemble a team. But, Doctor, be prepared for the worst. If this doesn't work, we may have no choice but to use the mass driver for exactly what they fear, as a weapon." The next 24 hours were a blur of frantic activity. Alina, along with a team of engineers and diplomats, worked tirelessly to prepare a demonstration of the mass driver's capabilities. They loaded a capsule with scientific equipment and cultural artifacts, a peace offering and proof of their technological intentions. As the deadline approached, tension on Earth reached a fever pitch. The Zarkov ships remained in position, a constant reminder of the threat looming over humanity. Military forces around the world were on high alert, ready to respond at a moment's notice. Finally, with just hours to spare, everything was in place. Elena stood in the mass driver control room, her heart pounding as she watched the final preparations on the monitors. Launch sequence initiated, the facility's AI announced. Electromagnetic coils charging. Elena took a deep breath. This was it. Everything hinged on this moment. Mass driver activated. Launch in 3, 2, 1. There was a deep, resonant hum, and on the external cameras, Elena saw the capsule shoot out from the lunar surface, accelerating rapidly as it climbed towards space. For a terrifying moment, nothing happened. Then suddenly, the Zarkov mothership moved. It adjusted its position, aligning itself with the capsule's trajectory. "They're going to intercept it," General Chen said, his voice tense. Elena watched, barely breathing, as the capsule approached the alien vessel. A beam of light shot out from the Zarkov ship, enveloping the human craft. Slowly, it was drawn into an opening in the massive hull. Minutes passed in agonizing silence. Then, finally, the communication screen lit up. The Zarkov commander appeared, its expression unreadable to human eyes. "We have examined your gift," the alien said. "Your explanation appears to be truthful. The device is indeed as you described." Elena felt a wave of relief wash over her. "Then you understand. This was all a misunderstanding." The commander's head tilted again. "Perhaps, but it does not change the fact that this device could be used as a weapon. Its very existence poses a potential threat to galactic stability." General Chen stepped forward. "The mass driver is essential to our space exploration efforts. Surely a species as advanced as yours can understand the importance of reaching for the stars." There was a long pause. When the Zarkov spoke again, its tone seemed different, almost respectful. "Your words have merit, human. We had not expected such determination from a young species. Perhaps we have misjudged you." The tension in the room began to ease, but Elena knew they weren't out of danger yet. "What happens now?" she asked. "We will withdraw our ships from your planet's orbit as a gesture of good faith," the Zarkov commander said. "But know this, we will be watching. Your species has potential, but also great responsibility. How you use your technology will determine our future relations." As the communication ended, cheers erupted in the control room. The immediate crisis had been averted, but Elena knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had taken its first steps onto the galactic stage, and the eyes of an advanced alien civilization were now upon them. General Chen approached Elena, a rare smile on his face. "Well done, Doctor. You may have just saved our species from extinction." Elena nodded, still processing everything that had happened. "Thank you, General. But I have a feeling our work is just beginning. The Zarkov are still out there, watching. We need to be prepared for whatever comes next." As the Zarkov ships began to withdraw from Earth orbit, news of the peaceful resolution spread across the globe. Relief mingled with excitement and apprehension. Humanity had faced its first extraterrestrial challenge and emerged intact, but the future remained uncertain. For Elena, the events of the past few days had opened up a new world of possibilities and dangers. As she looked out at the stars from the lunar base, she knew that the universe had suddenly become a much larger, more complex place. Humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning, and she was determined to see it through, whatever challenges lay ahead. Little did she know, those challenges would come sooner than anyone expected, and they would test humanity's resolve, ingenuity, and courage in ways they could never have imagined. Humanity's secret weapon. Unveiling the Thunderbolt. In the weeks following the Zarkov incident, an uneasy peace settled over Earth. The alien ships had withdrawn as promised, but their parting words lingered in the minds of every world leader. We will be watching. Humanity had narrowly avoided a catastrophe, but the close call had exposed just how vulnerable they truly were in the face of advanced extraterrestrial civilizations. Dr. Elena Rodriguez found herself at the center of a whirlwind of activity. As one of the key figures in averting the crisis, she had been appointed to lead a new international task force dedicated to preparing humanity for future alien encounters. It was during one of these high-level meetings that she first heard whispers of something called Project Thunderbolt. Dr. Rodriguez, General Chen said one day, pulling her aside after a particularly tense strategy session, "I need you to come with me. There's something you need to see." Intrigued, Elena followed the general to a secure elevator deep within the United Earth Defense Headquarters. As they descended, Chen's usual stoic expression gave way to a hint of excitement. "What I'm about to show you is beyond classified," he said. "Only a handful of people on the planet know about this, but given your new role and your experience with the Zarkov, the President agrees you need to be brought into the loop." The elevator came to a stop, and as the doors opened, Elena's jaw dropped. They had emerged into an enormous underground hangar, easily large enough to house several aircraft carriers. But it wasn't the size of the facility that stunned her. It was what lay at its center. A massive ship, unlike anything Elena had ever seen, dominated the space. Its sleek, angular design spoke of cutting-edge aerodynamics, while its surface seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly iridescence. "Welcome to Project Thunderbolt," General Chen said, a note of pride in his voice. "Humanity's ace in the hole." As they approached the vessel, Elena's scientific mind went into overdrive. The ship's hull appeared to be made of some kind of advanced metamaterial, likely capable of adaptive camouflage. Its propulsion system was unlike any conventional engine she'd ever encountered. How long has this been in development?" Elena asked, still trying to process what she was seeing. "The project was initiated shortly after the discovery of the Zarkov ship," Chen explained. "We've had some of the best minds on the planet working around the clock, integrating every piece of advanced technology we could muster. Some of it reversed engineered from scans of the alien vessel, some of it our own innovations pushed to the extreme." Elena circled the ship, her mind racing with questions. But the resources required for something like this, the energy output alone would be off the charts. Chen finished for her. "You're right. That's where this comes in." He led her to a small, innocuous-looking device near the ship's core. "This is the heart of Thunderbolt. We call it the Fusion Nexus." Elena's eyes widened as she realized the implications. "You've cracked sustainable fusion." Chen nodded. "A breakthrough made possible by data gleaned from the Zarkov ship's energy emissions. It's not just sustainable, it's beyond anything we've ever dreamed of. This ship can outrun, outmaneuver, and outgun anything we've ever built. And if our calculations are correct, it might just be able to go toe-to-toe with alien tech." As Elena absorbed this information, alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. Red lights flashed, and personnel began rushing to stations around the hangar. "What's happening?" Elena shouted over the noise. Chen's face had gone pale. He pressed a finger to his earpiece, listening intently. "It's the Zarkov," he said grimly. "They're back, and they're not alone." Within minutes, Elena and Chen were back in the command center. The main view screen showed a terrifying sight. The Zarkov mothership had returned, accompanied by an even larger vessel of clearly different design. "We're picking up transmissions between the ships," a communications officer reported. "It appears the Zarkov are apologizing to the new arrivals. Something about underestimating us." Elena felt a chill run down her spine. If the Zarkov, with all their advanced technology, felt the need to apologize for underestimating humanity, what kind of power did this new species possess? As they watched, a message came through. The face that appeared on the screen was unlike anything they had seen before, a being of swirling energy, barely contained within a humanoid form. "People of Earth," the being spoke, its voice resonating oddly in their minds rather than their ears. "We are the Ascended. The Zarkov have informed us of your potential. We have come to judge whether you are worthy of joining the galactic community, or if you pose too great a threat to be allowed to progress further." The implications hit Elena like a physical blow. This wasn't just first contact anymore. This was a test, one that humanity's very existence hinged upon. General Chen stepped forward. "We mean no threat to anyone. We seek only to explore and learn." The Ascended being seemed to ripple with something like amusement. "Noble words. But we have seen many young species rise and fall. Words are not enough. You will be tested, prove your worth, or face extinction." As the transmission cut off, chaos erupted in the command center. World leaders were patched in, strategies were debated, and panic began to spread across the globe as news of the ultimatum leaked. In the midst of the frenzy, Elena's mind raced. She thought of the Thunderbolt, sitting idle in its underground hangar. It was untested, a prototype born of desperation and ingenuity. But it might be their only hope. "General," she said, her voice cutting through the noise, "we need to launch the Thunderbolt." Chen looked at her sharply. "It's not ready. We haven't even done a full systems test." "We don't have a choice," Elena insisted. "Whatever test the Ascended have in mind, I doubt our conventional forces will be enough. Thunderbolt is the only thing that might level the playing field." For a long moment, Chen was silent, weighing the risks. Finally, he nodded. "You're right. But who's going to pilot it? Our best pilots have only trained in simulations." Elena took a deep breath, steeling herself for what she was about to say. "I'll do it." Chen's eyebrows shot up. "You? But you're not a pilot. You're a scientist." "Exactly," Elena said. "I've been studying alien technology since first contact. I understand the principles behind Thunderbolt systems better than anyone. And let's face it, this mission is going to require more than just flying skills. We need someone who can think on their feet, who understands the stakes." After a tense debate, it was agreed. Elena found herself being rushed to the Thunderbolt's hangar, where a team of engineers hurriedly briefed her on the ship's controls. As she climbed into the cockpit, her heart pounding, Elena couldn't help but marvel at the complexity of the systems surrounding her. The neural interface hummed to life as she settled into the pilot's seat, connecting her mind directly to the ship's eye. "Dr. Rodriguez," General Chen's voice came through the comm. "The Ascended have issued their challenge. They've created some kind of space-time anomaly in orbit. They say we must navigate it and retrieve an artifact they've placed at its center. We're picking up energy readings off the charts. No conventional ship could survive in there." Elena took a deep breath. "Then it's a good thing Thunderbolt isn't conventional. I'm ready." The hangar doors above began to open, revealing a starry sky. Elena felt a surge of both terror and exhilaration as the Thunderbolt's engines roared to life. "Thunderbolt, you are clear for launch." The flight controller's voice crackled through the comm. "Godspeed, Dr. Rodriguez. The fate of humanity rests in your hands." With a thought, Elena engaged the ship's propulsion. The Thunderbolt shot upward with incredible speed, climbing through the atmosphere in seconds. As they broke into open space, Elena gasped at the sight before her. A massive, swirling vortex of energy dominated the view, dwarfing even the Ascended and Zarkov ships that hovered nearby. At its center, barely visible, was a small, glowing object, the artifact they needed to retrieve. "Here goes nothing," Elena muttered. She guided the Thunderbolt towards the anomaly, feeling the ship shudder as they hit the outer edges of the disturbance. Alarms blared as gravitational forces threatened to tear the ship apart. But the Thunderbolt held together, its advanced hull adapting to the stress. Elena's mind raced as she processed the vast amounts of data flowing through the neural interface, making split-second adjustments to their course. As they plunged deeper into the anomaly, reality itself seemed to warp around them. Elena saw glimpses of other times, other places, possible futures and alternate pasts. It took all her concentration to stay focused on their goal. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, they'd reached the center of the maelstrom. The artifact hung before them, pulsing with otherworldly energy. With precise movements, Elena maneuvered the thunderbolt into position. A tractor beam lanced out, enveloping the object. "I've got it," Elena shouted into the comm, initiating extraction. The journey out was even more harrowing than the trip in. With the artifact in tow, the ship's systems were pushed to their limits. Elena's vision blurred, her mind struggling to process the overwhelming sensory input. Just when she thought they couldn't take any more, they burst free of the anomaly. The thunderbolt emerged into clear space, scorched and battered, but intact. As Elena caught her breath, she realized that everything had gone silent. The ascended ship loomed before them, its energy form seeming to pulse with an unreadable emotion. "You have succeeded where many others have failed," the Ascended's voice resonated in her mind. "Perhaps there is more to your species than we first believed." With those words, both the Ascended and Zarkoth ships began to retreat. The anomaly collapsed in on itself, leaving no trace of the incredible test humanity had just faced. As cheers erupted over the comm from Earth, Elena slumped in her seat, exhausted but elated. They had done it. Humanity had proven itself on the galactic stage. But as she guided the thunderbolt back towards Earth, Elena knew this was just the beginning. The artifact they had retrieved pulsed with unknown power, hinting at mysteries and technologies beyond their current understanding. And out there in the vast expanse of space, other alien civilizations were surely watching, waiting to see what this young, ambitious species would do next. Humanity had passed its first great test, but the real challenges and adventures were just beginning. Reevaluating humanity. The return of the Thunderbolt to Earth was met with a mixture of jubilation and trepidation. As Dr. Elena Rodriguez guided the ship into the massive underground hangar, she could feel the weight of what they had just accomplished, and the responsibility that came with it. General Chen was waiting as Elena climbed out of the cockpit, his usual stoic expression replaced by one of genuine awe. "Dr. Rodriguez," he said, "I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say you may have just saved our entire species." Elena managed a tired smile. "Let's hope so, General. But I have a feeling our work is just beginning." As if on cue, alarms began blaring throughout the facility. Chen's hand flew to his earpiece, his face darkening as he listened to the incoming message. "What is it?" Elena asked, dread building in her stomach. "It's the Zarkoth," Chen replied grimly. "They're requesting an immediate audience with Earth's leaders. And they seem agitated." Within the hour, Elena found herself in a hastily convened meeting with the world's top officials. The main screen flickered to life, revealing the Zarkoth commander. Its multifaceted eyes seemed to shimmer with an emotion Elena couldn't quite place. Fear, respect. Both. "Humans," the alien's translated voice filled the room. "You have done the impossible. You have passed the Ascended's test, a feat that countless other species have failed. We find ourselves at a loss." The president of the United Earth Alliance leaned forward. "We appreciate your acknowledgement of our achievement, but why does this seem to concern you so deeply?" The Zarkoth commander's head tilted in what Elena had come to recognize as a sign of distress. "You must understand. When we first encountered your species, we saw you as primitive, barely worth noting. Now, in the span of what you would call months, you have demonstrated technological prowess that rivals our own, and you have earned the respect of the Ascended themselves. This rapid progression, it is unprecedented and deeply troubling." Elena felt a chill run down her spine as she realized the implications. To the Zarkoth, humanity must seem like a potential threat. A young species advancing at an alarming rate, now armed with technology they didn't fully understand. "What are you saying?" General Chen asked, his voice tense. The Zarkoth seemed to gather itself. "We are saying that the balance of power in this sector of the galaxy has shifted. Many of our allies are concerned about what this means. There are those who believe that allowing your species to continue unchecked would be a grave mistake. The room erupted into a flurry of worried whispers. Elena's mind raced, trying to find a way to diffuse the situation. She stepped forward, addressing the alien directly. "Commander," she said, "surely you can see that our intentions are peaceful. We passed the Ascended's test, demonstrating not just our technological capabilities, but our character as a species. We seek to join the galactic community, not to dominate it." The Zarkov's eyes focused on Elena. "Dr. Rodriguez, your words are noble, but you must understand our position. We have seen young species rise before, full of grand ideals, only to become conquerors once they realize their power. The artifact you retrieved from the Ascended's trial, it contains knowledge and power beyond your current understanding. In the wrong hands, it could upset the delicate balance we have maintained for millennia." As the implications of the Zarkov's words sank in, Elena realized they were standing on the brink of a potential interstellar conflict. Humanity's rapid advancement, rather than ensuring their safety, had painted a target on their backs. The president spoke up, her voice steady despite the tension. "What would you have us do? Abandon our pursuit of knowledge? Halt our technological progress?" The Zarkov commander's response was immediate. "No. Such a thing would be against the very principles of galactic civilization, but we must insist on oversight. A coalition of advanced species to monitor your development, to ensure that your newfound power is not misused." General Chen bristled at this. "You're talking about hobbling our sovereignty, keeping us under alien control." "We are talking about preventing a war," the Zarkov countered. "Already, there are factions among the galactic species calling for more drastic measures to contain the human threat." The room fell silent as the gravity of the situation sank in. Elena's mind whirled, trying to find a solution that would satisfy both humanity's drive for independence and the galactic community's fears. Suddenly, an idea struck her. "Commander," she said, stepping forward once more, "what if we proposed a compromise? A cultural exchange program?" All eyes in the room turned to her, alien and human alike. Elena took a deep breath and continued. "Instead of oversight, we propose collaboration. We'll open our scientific facilities to representatives from various galactic species, including the Zarkov. In return, we ask for the opportunity to send our own scientists and diplomats to learn from you. This way, you can observe our progress firsthand, while we benefit from your millennia of experience." The Zarkov commander was silent for a long moment, its alien features unreadable. Finally, it spoke. "An interesting proposal, Dr. Rodriguez. It would allow for the monitoring our allies demand, while respecting your species' autonomy. But it would also grant you access to knowledge that some believe you are not ready for. Isn't that the point of a galactic community?" Elena pressed. "To share knowledge, to grow together. We've demonstrated our potential. Give us the chance to show you how we can use it responsibly." The tension in the room was palpable as they waited for the Zarkov's response. Finally, the alien commander's head dipped in what Elena recognized as a nod of agreement. "Your words have merit, Dr. Rodriguez. I will convey your proposal to our allies. But be warned, this decision will not be without controversy. There are those who will see this as too great a risk." As the communication ended, the room erupted into a flurry of activity. World leaders debated the implications of Elena's proposal, while military officials argued over the potential security risks. In the midst of the chaos, General Chen pulled Elena aside. "That was a bold move, Doctor. But do you realize what you've done? We'll be inviting alien species into our most secure facilities. They'll have access to our most advanced research." Elena nodded solemnly. "I know, General. But it's our best chance to avoid a conflict we're not ready for. And think of the opportunities. We'll have the chance to learn from species that have explored the stars for millennia. The potential advancements in science, medicine, technology, it's beyond imagination." As the debate raged on, news of the proposal began to leak to the public. The reaction around the world was mixed. Some hailed it as a visionary step towards true galactic citizenship, while others decried it as a surrender of human independence. In the days that followed, Alina found herself at the center of a global spotlight. She was called upon to defend her proposal in front of world leaders, scientific bodies, and the general public. It was exhausting, but Alina knew the stakes couldn't be higher. Finally, after what felt like an eternity of negotiations and debates, a decision was reached. The Earth Alliance would accept the cultural exchange program, with certain safeguards in place to protect humanity's most sensitive secrets. As Alina stood before the United Nations, preparing to announce the decision to the world, she felt the weight of history on her shoulders. This moment would change the course of human civilization forever. People of Earth, she began, her voice carrying to billions of listeners around the globe and beyond. Today, we stand on the threshold of a new era. We have been given an opportunity not just to join the galactic community, but to help shape its future. The path ahead will not be easy. There will be challenges, misunderstandings, and moments of doubt. But I believe that by embracing this chance, by reaching out to our cosmic neighbors in a spirit of mutual respect and curiosity, we can build a future brighter than we ever imagined. As she spoke, Alina couldn't help but think of how far they had come in such a short time. From the first tense encounter with the Zarkov to the trials of the Ascended, humanity had proven its resilience and ingenuity time and time again. We have shown the galaxy our potential, Alina continued. Now it's time to show them our wisdom, our compassion, and our unwavering commitment to progress. Together, we will explore the stars, unlock the secrets of the universe, and forge a destiny among the cosmos. As her speech concluded, a wave of applause washed over her, but Alina knew that the real work was just beginning. In the coming months and years, Earth would see an influx of alien visitors unlike anything in human history. Scientists, diplomats, and explorers from a myriad of species would walk among them, each bringing their own unique perspective and knowledge. And out there, in the vast expanse of space, other eyes were watching, some with curiosity, some with hope, and some, perhaps, with darker intentions. Humanity had taken its first true steps onto the galactic stage, but the greatest adventures and challenges still lay ahead. As Alina left the podium, her mind was already racing with plans for the future. The artifact they had retrieved from the Ascended's trial still pulsed with unknown power, hinting at technologies and mysteries beyond their current understanding. With the help of their new alien allies, perhaps they could unlock its secrets. The journey ahead would be long and fraught with danger. But as she looked out at the sea of faces before her, human and alien alike, Alina felt a surge of hope. Whatever the universe had in store for them, humanity would face it together, with open minds and brave hearts. The age of Earth's isolation was over. The era of galactic citizenship had begun. Diplomatic breakthrough. A new galactic era. The months following the announcement of the cultural exchange program were a whirlwind of activity. Earth became a hub of interstellar diplomacy virtually overnight, with alien delegations arriving from across the galaxy. The once quiet halls of research institutions and universities now buzzed with a cacophony of alien languages and the hum of advanced technology. Dr. Alina Rodriguez found herself at the center of it all. As the architect of the exchange program and Earth's foremost expert on alien relations, she was tasked with overseeing much of the integration process. It was exhausting, exhilarating work. One crisp autumn morning, Alina stood in her office at the newly established Galactic Cooperation Center, gazing out at the eclectic mix of human and alien architecture that had sprung up around the complex. The sight of a group of tentacled Exaralian scientists chatting amicably with human colleagues still brought a smile to her face, even after all these months. Her reverie was interrupted by a gentle chime from her desk. Dr. Rodriguez, her eye assistant's voice filled the room. "The Zarkov ambassador is here to see you." Alina straightened her jacket, taking a deep breath. "Send him in, please." The door slid open, revealing the tall, iridescent form of Ambassador Zixar. The Zarkoth's multifaceted eyes seemed to shimmer with an emotion Alina had learned to recognize as respect. Dr. Rodriguez, Zixar's translator, rendered his complex vocalizations into smooth English. "I hope I'm not interrupting." "Not at all, Ambassador." Alina smiled, gesturing to a chair designed to accommodate various alien physiologies. "What can I do for you?" Zixar settled into the seat, his long fingers intertwining in what Alina now knew was a gesture of contemplation. "I've come with news from the Galactic Council. It concerns the artifact you retrieved from the Ascended's trial." Alina felt a jolt of excitement. The mysterious artifact had been the subject of intense study and speculation since its retrieval. Despite their best efforts and the input of numerous alien scientists, its full capabilities remained elusive. "What about it?" she asked, leaning forward. "The Council has decided," Zixar began, his tone serious, "that the time has come to fully unlock its secrets, and they believe that humanity should play a central role in the process." Alina's eyes widened. This was unprecedented. The Galactic Council, traditionally cautious about sharing advanced technology with younger species, was offering humanity a chance to be at the forefront of a potentially groundbreaking discovery. "That's incredible," Alina managed, her mind racing with the implications. "But why now? And why us?" Zixar's head tilted in what Alina had come to recognize as a sign of approval. "Your species has continually surprised us, Dr. Rodriguez. The speed of your adaptation, the creativity of your solutions, the enthusiasm with which you've embraced galactic cooperation, it's unprecedented. Many on the Council believe that your unique perspective might be the key to unlocking the artifact's full potential." As Zixar explained further, Alina felt a mix of pride and trepidation. The artifact, it seemed, was believed to be a key to understanding the nature of the universe itself. Its technology was so advanced that even the oldest spacefaring races struggled to comprehend it fully. The hope was that humanity's fresh eyes and innovative thinking might provide the breakthrough they needed. "Of course," Zixar added, his tone growing more serious, "this opportunity comes with great responsibility. The power contained within the artifact could reshape the galaxy. It must be approached with the utmost caution and ethical consideration." Alina nodded solemnly. "I understand, Ambassador. We won't take this lightly." "When do we begin?" "Immediately," Zixar replied. "A team of the galaxy's foremost scientists is being assembled as we speak. You'll be working alongside beings with thousands of years of collective experience, Dr. Rodriguez. Are you prepared for that?" Alina felt a moment of doubt. Could she, a human scientist with barely a year of experience in galactic affairs, truly contribute to a project of this magnitude? But then she remembered everything humanity had accomplished in such a short time. Their ability to adapt, to think outside the box, to push boundaries. These were their strengths. "I'm ready," she said with determination, "and I know just the team to bring with me." Over the next few weeks, Alina worked tirelessly to assemble a group of Earth's brightest minds. Physicists, engineers, linguists, and even philosophers were brought together, each chosen for their unique skills and perspectives. The project was set up in a specially constructed facility on the far side of the moon, away from prying eyes and potential interference. As Alina stepped off the shuttle onto the lunar surface, she couldn't help but marvel at how far they'd come. Just a year ago, the idea of working alongside aliens on the moon would have seemed like pure science fiction. Inside the facility, Alina was introduced to her alien counterparts. There was Xylvax, a quantum whose species existed partially in higher dimensions; Elorath, an ancient luminarian composed entirely of living light; and dozens of others, each more extraordinary than the last. As they gathered around the artifact for the first time, Alina felt a sense of awe wash over her. The object pulsed with an otherworldly energy, its surface shifting and changing in ways that defied conventional physics. "Welcome, colleagues," Eloreth's melodious voice filled the room. We stand at the precipice of a discovery that could reshape our understanding of the universe itself. Let us begin. The work was intense and often frustrating. The artifact resisted traditional methods of analysis, its secrets locked behind layers of technology so advanced it might as well have been magic. But slowly, piece by piece, they began to make progress. It was during one late-night session, as Elena was poring over some particularly puzzling data, that she had a sudden flash of insight. She called the team together, her voice trembling with excitement. "I think I've found something," she said, pulling up a holographic display. "Look at these energy patterns. They're not random. They're cyclical, but in a way we've never seen before. It's as if the artifact is pulsing in time with something big." Silvax's higher dimensional appendages quivered with excitement. By the cosmic threads, she's right. But what could it be sensing with? It was Zixar who provided the crucial piece of the puzzle. "The galactic core," he said softly. "The artifact is somehow connected to the supermassive black hole at the center of our galaxy." As the implications of this discovery sank in, the room erupted into a flurry of activity. Theories were proposed and discarded rapid fire, each more mind-bending than the last. Could the artifact be a key to harnessing the energy of black holes? A map to wormholes crisscrossing the galaxy? A tool for manipulating the very fabric of space-time? Days turned into weeks as they worked to unravel the mystery. Elena found herself pushing the boundaries of human knowledge, grappling with concepts that strained the very limits of comprehension. But through it all, she felt a sense of exhilaration. This was what she had dreamed of as a young scientist: the thrill of discovery, the joy of pushing back the frontiers of the unknown. Finally, after months of tireless work, they had a breakthrough. As the team gathered around the artifact, pulses of energy began to emanate from its core, forming intricate patterns in the air. "It's a map," Eloreth breathed, his light form flickering with excitement. "A map of everything." Before their astonished eyes, a holographic representation of the entire galaxy materialized. But it wasn't just a static image. They could see energy flows, hidden connections between star systems, and pathways that seemed to bend the very nature of space and time. "This is incredible," Elena whispered, her mind struggling to process what she was seeing. "With this, we could revolutionize space travel, energy production, our entire understanding of physics." But as the initial excitement began to fade, a sobering realization set in. The power contained within this map was immense, perhaps too immense for any one species or civilization to control. It was Zixar who voiced what they were all thinking. "This knowledge, it's too much for any single race to possess. Its use must be regulated, shared among all galactic species. The potential for misuse is too great." Elena nodded solemnly. "You're right. This doesn't belong to humanity, or to the Zarkoth, or to any single species. It belongs to all of us." In the days that followed, emergency sessions of the Galactic Council were convened. Representatives from hundreds of spacefaring civilizations gathered to debate the fate of the artifact and the knowledge it contained. Elena found herself standing before the council, tasked with presenting their findings and recommendations. As she looked out at the assembled beings, some humanoid, some so alien she could barely comprehend their form, she felt the weight of history on her shoulders. "Esteemed members of the council," she began, her voice steady despite her nerves, "what we have discovered is nothing short of revolutionary. This artifact, this map, offers us the chance to unlock the deepest secrets of our galaxy. But with that opportunity comes great responsibility." She went on to outline their proposal: the creation of a new galactic institution, one dedicated to the study and ethical use of the artifact's knowledge. It would be a collaborative effort, drawing on the expertise and wisdom of all spacefaring civilizations. "We stand at a crossroads," Elena concluded. "We can use this discovery to usher in an era of unprecedented cooperation and advancement, or we can allow it to become a source of conflict and division. The choice is ours." The debate that followed was intense, with passionate arguments on all sides. But in the end, the Council voted overwhelmingly in favor of Elena's proposal. The Galactic Institute of Cosmic Understanding would be established, with representatives from all member species working together to unlock the secrets of the universe. As Elena left the council chambers, exhausted but elated, she was met by a familiar face. General Chen, now Earth's representative to the Galactic Council, approached with a rare smile. "You've done it again, Dr. Rodriguez," he said, genuine admiration in his voice. "First contact, averting war, and now this. You've helped secure humanity's place among the stars." Elena shook her head modestly. "It wasn't just me, General. It was all of us, human and alien alike. We're stronger together than we ever were apart." As they looked out at the bustling galactic capital, teeming with life forms from across the cosmos, Elena felt a profound sense of hope. The road ahead would not be easy. There would be challenges, conflicts, and setbacks. But for the first time in history, the beings of the galaxy were truly united in a common purpose. The age of isolation was over. The era of cosmic unity had begun, and humanity, young as it was, would play a crucial role in shaping the destiny of the stars. As Elena gazed up at the alien constellations, she couldn't help but smile. The universe, it seemed, was even more wonderful and mysterious than they had ever imagined. And they were just getting started.